Anxiety is a normal human emotion, and it can be useful in certain situations, such as when we're faced with a potential threat or potential danger. But excessive or persistent anxiety that interferes with daily activities and relationships can really be a sign of an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders are among the most common mental health issues in children and can take so many different forms. And as a parent, it's really important to listen to your children, provide them with reassurance, and help them develop strong coping strategies that work for them. Welcome back to another Warrior Academy podcast. Today, we're going to be speaking about supporting children with anxiety. It's going to be a very practical episode with lots of practical tips, so I hope you enjoy today's episode. Anxiety is a really common health issue, especially among young people, and it can really cause significant distress and impairment in their daily lives, which follows them right up until they're adults. As a parent, it can be really challenging to know how to support your child when they suffer with anxiety. And so within this podcast episode, I'd like to provide some practical advice and tips to help you understand the causes of anxiety, as well as the common signs and the symptoms, as well as strategies to help your child cope with their anxiety. So first of all, let's understand anxiety in children. Anxiety is a normal human emotion, and it can be useful in certain situations, such as when we're faced with a potential threat or potential danger. But excessive or persistent anxiety that interferes with daily activities and relationships can really be a sign of an anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorders are among the most common mental health issues in children and can take so many different forms, including generalized anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder, separation anxiety disorder, and even panic disorder. And so all of these disorders can be caused by a combination of genetic, environment, and psychological factors. So let's go through some of the common signs and the common symptoms of anxiety for young people. Anxiety can manifest in a variety of ways in children and can often be difficult to recognize. And some of those most common signs or symptoms can be excessive worry or fear about everyday situations or events, physical symptoms such as stomach aches, headaches, or muscle tension, difficulty sleeping or staying asleep, irritability or mood swings, avoidance of social situations or activities, difficulty concentrating or paying attention. It's really important to note that not all children with anxiety actually exhibit the same symptoms, and some might not even show any obvious signs at all, which makes it really difficult for parents to spot. I'd like to talk about the strategies for supporting children with anxiety. So as a parent, there are several strategies that you can use to support your child if they are suffering with anxiety. And these strategies include listening to your child, which is one of the most important things you can possibly do as a parent. When you find that they are, you believe they may be struggling with anxiety, really dive in and try to listen to them. And when they express their worries or concerns, really try to make time to talk to your child and let them know you're there to support them. The next is to provide reassurance. So children with anxiety often just need more reassurance that they're safe and that their worries are unfounded. So provide your child with positive affirmations and remind them of their strengths and their abilities. Remind them that they are safe. The next is to help your child develop coping strategies. So when a child has high levels of anxiety and it starts to become a bit of a habit or a trait, try to encourage your child to develop coping strategies that work specifically for them. Not all will work for them. So that can include things like deep breathing, meditation, or progressive muscle relaxation. When you practice these strategies with your child and encourage them to use them when they feel anxious, you'll notice that some of them start to really have a big impact quite quickly. And that's actually something we work on in our classes at the Warrior Academy in our character development program. The next strategy is to create a calm environment. So children with anxiety might benefit from a calm and structured environment. And when you create a routine for your child that includes regular meals, exercise, and sleep, you can start to minimize the noise and distractions in their home and provide a quiet space for your child to relax. And you'll start to see the knock-on effect that has with their levels of anxiety. The next strategy or tip is to seek professional help. Now, if your child's anxiety is causing significant stress or impairment in their daily life, it may be time to seek professional help. If you talk to your child's doctor or a mental health professional for advice or for support, they'll be able to give you some solid advice on to exactly what to do from a clinical point of view. So I'd now like to finish up with a few FAQs that we typically find from parents at the Warrior Academy. The first is, what should I do if my child's anxiety is impacting their school performance? So if your child's anxiety is impacting their school performance, it might be helpful to work with their teacher or their school counsellor to develop a plan to support your child. That might include accommodations such as extra time for assignments or tests, maybe a quiet space to work, or even additional support from a learning specialist. The next question we often get is it okay to let my child avoid things that make them anxious? So with this, what we say is, while it might be tempting to let your child avoid situations that make them anxious, it can actually reinforce their anxiety in the long run. And it's really important to encourage your child to face their fears in a really supportive and gradual way. That can then help them build confidence and learn that they are capable of managing their anxiety. The next question we get is, can I do anything to prevent my child from developing anxiety? Well, it's not always possible to prevent anxiety. There are things you could do to help your child develop resilience and coping skills. So when you encourage your child to engage in activities they actually enjoy and spend time with their friends and their family and practice healthy habits such as exercise and good sleep, you'll start to see that have a massive effect. So to wrap up today's episode, anxiety can be such a challenging issue for children and parents. And it really is possible, with the right support and the right strategies, to manage and overcome anxiety effectively. And as a parent, it's really important to listen to your children, provide them with reassurance, and help them develop strong coping strategies that work for them. If your child's anxiety is causing a lot of significant distress, it might be helpful to seek professional help. But remember, you're not alone in supporting your child through their anxiety, and there are so many resources out there available to help you and your family. One of those resources is the Warrior Academy and speaking to your child's instructor at class. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope that you gained some insight on how you can help your children develop coping strategies within looking after themselves and removing that anxiety they may be experiencing. If you did enjoy the episode today, make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss another episode, and I'll see you very soon. I really hope you enjoyed today's Warrior Academy podcast episode. We're going to keep creating these episodes because I know that so many parents find them useful or get insights or get ideas about how to develop their child's character. But it all comes down to the 3 C's: confidence, conduct, and concentration. So if you want to get a deep insight into the levels of confidence your child has, the level of concentration they have, or the level of conduct they have, so that you can actually put a score next to it and then work towards increasing those scores like we do in the Warrior Academy, then I'd love to invite you to fill in the breakthrough area assessment. It takes about 5 minutes of your time, and you will get a personalized PDF report on your child's 3 C's. To access the breakthrough area assessment and find out your child's 3 C's score, all you need to do is go to www.breakthrougharea.com.